Tribe, welcome back. Hope everyone is having an amazing time in this human experience. If you don't know already, again, if you're new here, my name is Mr. Hall, author, founder, conscious architect, conscious systems architect, artist, founder. The titles just get there's so many, right? So many different lives that we have lived and expressions of being. Very irrelevant, the titles, but point is, I'm here to give confirmation, context, perspective, and perception, okay, around this human experience. All right, you may have been picking up things spiritually, subconsciously, recognizing patterns, and even if you would just like some entertainment, right? But as reality is catching up to define who I am and what we are as I am because we are, right? It's nice to gain some insight. And as soon as I begin the video, I begin to channel, okay? And there were a few things I picked up prior to beginning the video, but I'm being guided to focus in on what is being experienced in the moment. And if you've been following along, Tribe, you know that introduction was a bit different than the previous videos. And there's significance to that. So you doing something differently, okay? So this may relate, and remember this is a collective reading. If I have already lost you, or some of the language and the descriptions being used, this reading may not be for you. And you can share it with someone you believe that it's for, and if you're a part of the tribe, you already understand where we're going with this. So, the way that you have changed in expression or doing something differently, okay? I'm picking up you being receptive. You being receptive to subtle energies. You being receptive to the integration of it all, the integration of existence, the integration of new knowledge, the integration of doing things differently, okay? A change where self-care and self-love are keeping yourself alive, where you had any inner conflicts, they're being separated and removed and cleared. So you've definitely come to some newfound clarity, okay? Confirmation through my dog Bestie around the way. If you know, you know. Possibly connections to Anubis as well, Egyptian energies. And you're able to grasp context and truths and perceptions through all bits and pieces of information. So really being aware of the horrific, nefarious, difficult energies that exist, and also finding peace within yourself and with that. And I'm also picking up self-forgiveness as well. Really, this theme of grief, self-forgiveness, and healing have been coming up recently. Okay, recognizing or possibly if you're very empathic, right, which most of you that are on this channel are, tapping into witchy, occult, esoteric, different knowledges, as well as different accesses to technologies not publicly available, you are beginning to get a picture of a more holistic picture of yourself. And the phases, I'm picking up the phases of yourself, the generational aspects, the ancestral aspects, the living organism that you are. I'm picking this up. You're beginning to get a better perspective on the living organism that you are, can be, will be, in all directions. So an omnipresence of integration through new information, okay? And the way that we are able to remember, right, these new or emerging experiences, okay? So really choosing, if we look at this from a philosophical, theoretical perspective, right? Implementing and applying theoretical. So some theoretical eroticism, okay? A pleasure in being human. Shifting the energy that feels heavy, dense, into a space of pleasure, right? Eroticism, being excited about life again, right? It feels like a rebirth, okay? That's the energy coming up to, a rebirth energy. the imagery that I'm seeing is melting, okay? So in a positive sense, right? Melting into ice cream, melting into life, melting into appreciation, gratitude, okay? I'm melting into the awareness of, okay? And when I say awareness of, what's coming to mind is you seeing a mirror reflection of yourself, right? It can be perceived to be a mirror. It can be perceived to be a reflection, okay? A reflection through a mirror, all right? But I'm picking up you literally facing yourself, you facing yourself together. So 3 aspects of yourself, and we can, let's say we could go into mind, body, and soul. And through mind, body, and soul, each having its own brain or consciousness or energetic frequency, okay? Electromagnetic frequency, okay? Pattern. And you recognizing the patterns through all these aspects of yourself, all these aspects of yourselves, okay? In relation to me individually, right? In relation to you individually, in relation to society, civilization, reality, consciousness, the world, macro and micro, right? Being able to understand how you are a part of the algorithm, okay, of life, how you are a part of the cyclical nature, and simultaneously being able to be outside of it, right? What's coming to mind is you are able to create time, okay? You make time, right? You care about something, you make time for it in a layman's terms, right? But also in more depth, you being the creator of time. Past, present, and future no longer linear or in one direction, however, all encompassing. The past affects the future, impacts the future. The future impacts the past, right? Being able to see, the word that I want to choose is, so you choosing the words, you choosing the frequencies, you choosing the patterns, you choosing exactly where in consciousness you want to be, while simultaneously being an overall consciousness, okay? So the consciousness of Earth, the consciousness of another planet, okay? So planets may be very significant. You may be looking into, this came up in the last reading as well, quantum cosmology. That may be something that you're tapping into. I'm picking up death doulas. I'm picking up new studies. If you're watching this, you know who you are. A hypnotherapist recently that I had a discussion with, and a doctor named Hell. So that may be very significant for you all as well. Really recognizing what hell would be for you, okay? Not a place of going to, but a place of experience within, right? A mental entrapment, right? I'm picking up the swords energy if you're familiar with the tarot or oracle cards or any traditional rituals that have been a part of tradition of your ancestry, okay? Again, very huge theme as well, being the ancestors now, you being the ancestor now, you and others, through ourselves, each other, and individually, okay? This energy feels much more calm, serene. So I'm picking up serenity, precognition as well. These energies have been coming up. All right. You may want to look into past, present, and future deja vu. All right. I know they have specific terminologies. Someone in the tribe, drop that in the chat if any of that's resonating with you so far. Okay. All right. And really working with the dualist. So, okay. So we practice omnism and animism here. All right. If you're unfamiliar with those terms, go check them out. But bits and pieces of truth in all, right? And everything, even inanimate objects, have a vibration to them, a frequency, attachment, a speed that they move within and through, and being able to be felt, touched, and understood. So I digress. I'm going back a bit, right? So you understanding a new way to connect to yourself and others through a healed, whole, and complete space. The imagery of the cards are coming to mind as well, the Justice and the Hierophant. Thanks, Chiron, you know who you are, for that information. Okay, something heavy about Piscean energy. So this shifting from the era of the Pisces into the era of Aquarius, and something significant about being careful, being happy out loud. And when I reference this, being careful about being happy out loud, where the Aquarian energy of genius, change, experimentation, different, the eccentric. These things may be attacked in these moments societally, okay? So being aware of that as well as you express in wholeness the experience of who and what and why and how you are, okay? If you do so choose. All right, but some type of love being reflected back to you, some type of life, something organic being separating from the affliction of life. Okay, separating from the affliction of life, separating from the illusion of what love was for you, okay, what heart-centered being meant for you, and being able to apply creativity to what you love. Okay, that can be yourself, that can be another person, that can be a thing, right? But you being able to get that love back. So something about the karmic loop or karmic cycle coming back to you in a Wheel of Fortune energy, right? Wheel of Fortune, a tarot card, if you're not familiar. All right, for those of you that this language is sounding, the language is too in depth, okay? I have been alerted that through different groups, and I love and appreciate all of you all, okay? To the extent that I can love a stranger, right? And soul family, soul tribe, you understand. Go ahead and do some research, all right? Because for this video to show up for you, there are messages that are connecting to you, okay? And even if you don't see them or hear them clearly through me, the vessel, okay? Go ahead and look externally. Just look, don't get the answers externally, but look for where you have attracted into your reality this vessel of communication, this pathway of communication, okay? So if you hear me say the word orange in a layman terms, if you hear me say the word orange, go ahead and see what is orange around you, okay? And that may hold some significance, whatever that object is, whatever that item is, whatever that thing is, whatever that food is, whatever is in your existence that you are able to see orange. If it's a feeling, if it's a thought, right? No matter what orange is for you, okay? A literal orange, the fruit, right? Whatever that is for you, go ahead and see what is around you to connect with that. So you connecting to existence through the visceral experience of human nature. And I'm picking up one of the greatest acts that you have ever done is be human in this lifetime, okay? Very significant there. Okay. That's the breakdown. So you locking a door, you stepping away, removing yourself from energies and frequencies that don't resonate with you, all right? You separating from vibrational patterns, okay? You separating from heavy, okay? And so that motion is significant as well. So you removing and releasing, okay? Through heavy emotions. Also the cyclical nature of awakening, I'm picking up. Thank you, spiritual. If anybody has seen this or connects with this, they're on another social media platform. There is a group or a awakened spirit that is sharing information on the mass for the masses, okay? So you can also be sharing awakened spirit for the masses, okay? Something about the words of God as this just populated, okay? The name Jay, the name Hussein, okay? Insane as well. Insane in the membrane. I'm hearing that song, okay? And I'll reference for context further again, tribe. Insane in the sense or the logic of society being very much insane. So go ahead and be crazy, okay? Within context. I'm not a doctor or medical professional, just to be safe. I'll mention that for you. Okay? Take what you will and use the information and apply it where it fits, all right? But you stepping away from being in this suggestible nature, okay? You separating away from people pleasing, you separating away from narcissistic abuse, sociopathic abuse, psychopathy, right? You stepping away from energies that are not gentle, okay? While maintaining awareness and protection of the self, even if you're not consciously doing it. Protection of yourself from heavy or denser energies that would bring you down. Okay, this motion is very significant. If anybody has seen, okay, we'll look into what that means more shortly. But what I'm picking up is an electronic, but the word is escaping me. So something about that as well. Your mind, your consciousness and subconscious coming together to really release and pluck out any information that is no longer necessary. Doesn't compute is what I'm picking up. Doesn't compute. Okay? So something very significant about information technology fields, anything in which information technology can touch, can interact with. So this is in medicine, this is in law, this is in physics, this is sciences, this is in economic perspectives, this is in cultural perspectives, okay? So really being touched by information technology, you, the physical vessel of yourself, being the strongest and best, and if we, yes, no, well, yes, no, well, okay? Some truth being revealed to you about yourself, us as human beings, as a species, and more. Welcome to my aliens, as you know, if you relate to this tribe. But either way, you being the best information technology to assimilate, assess, adapt to existence through expansion, okay? The expansion of, okay? Doing my best, doing your best, all right? Communicating to you, tribe, you're doing your best in the way that you are communicating with this information technology. Outside of technology being a phone, a thought being a form of technology, words being a form of technology, listening being a form of technology, okay? Really applying and cross-referencing new neural pathways, new connections. I'm picking up neuroplasticity. This has been coming up in the readings a lot recently as well. Applying new connections where that plucking of energy, that was the word I was looking for, plucking of energy or thoughts or patterns are being released. So you have more space to upgrade, okay? And when I say upgrade, not better or worse, simply evolve. So an evolution, okay? An evolution of your consciousness, an evolution of the species, an evolution of the interacting with and of reality and existence, okay? Outside of society, outside of time, outside of limiting beliefs, outside of conventional linear logic or rationale, all right? And so this is why we say, okay, be careful. Be careful. When I reference we, me, us, the collective, because I'm picking up on the collective energy, right? We are saying be careful in not to fear, not to place fear. We've already adapted to becoming fear. We are the thing that we fear. In many different spiritual circles, this is widely understood. But either way, being careful with this exploration and experience of expression as collectively so many humans, species, energy, frequency, interdimensionally, interplanetary, okay, are awakening, okay? So things can be a bit catastrophic or a bit tense, all right? And I also believe planetarily, okay, something about a dragonfly. You may be seeing a lot of dragonflies. You may be seeing horses too as well, but very significant, this reflection that you see through the photo on the screen, right? And the reflection in that photo, right? So really portals opening up through the mind and sending you information, okay? Something about depth of field, depth of perception, depth of consciousness, depth of context, okay? All right. Whew. I may review this video to okay, so something about reviewing what you see, all right? Especially with the invitation to, something about the invitation to artificial intelligence and artificial algorithmic, or, okay. So artificial intelligence being referenced as artificial intelligence, really being algorithmic intelligence, taking information from us, okay? It's not new, it's remembered, it's accessible now to the public, it's been around, right? And with this connection and awareness, right? Consciously, this awakening through the eyes, seeing, not through the eyes, right? Because we understand now anything that we see may be AI, right? And possibly has been AI. And so now seeing through the mind and having the gift of perception and clarity, right? Now that we have more space to understand, okay, well, wait, maybe the past wasn't exactly as we've seen it, right? So rewriting the past through your own discernment and context, right? Because we also understand, and these are channeled messages I'm picking up, we're also understanding that what we have felt to be real may have not been very real at all in relation to specific groups within government organizations. And not all government is bad. This is a global message, right? So not all of your governments around the world are bad or are corrupt, but there are corrupt individuals in those groups, organizations, governments, companies, okay, connections, mafias, gangs, cartels, all of these different intermingling facets, okay, of these grand or perceived to be grand organizations, okay, confirmation, that have had tools to implant. Let's give it a second to frequency. Okay, 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 okay. So that whole careful energy. Anyway, that was just an airplane flying by. But tribe, if you know, you know. So many layers to understanding that the past as we have known it may have been induced. I'm picking up a collective psychosis, okay? Plants and images being implanted, okay? Plants and images? Wow, okay, that's significant. So what was once thought to be organic, literal, the single way, the one way, we're seeing there are many paths, as many different illusions have been implanted through tools that can make changes to the memory, to what you can see, to what you can taste, hear, and feel, okay? And as if you're in the beginning of one of these awakening processes, give yourself time and be careful, okay? Give yourself grace, okay? Giving yourself grace being outside of time. All right, tribe. That was a lot of channeled information. For now, we'll make this, okay. So you're on part one of something, part one. Okay, part one of making, part one of creating, part one of this new phase of rebirth, okay? Okay, something about the number 3 as well, okay? Mudras, okay, I'm also picking up mudras, okay? One in the pink, two in the pink, one in the stink. That may be significant as well, this symbolism, okay? I'm getting a lot of sexual references in this moment, but so into creativity, so getting creative, so sexual energy being sacred and creative energy. This is a hand symbolism in popular culture or society in America, okay? 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink, okay? So the anus, the vagina, okay? Something being inserted into, all right? But I'm picking up a masculine energy in this moment, okay? So masculine energy tapping into receptivity for creation. All right, so this is bringing something about the left. This may be in the political stances, the left and the right, okay? Left hemisphere of the body, the brain. Okay. So the left getting the go-ahead. That may be significant if you had any political leaning. Outside and being an independent, we understand the games that are played there as the mask of reality fall off. And through the mask of reality falling off, we're able to see the illusions in the reflections of fake love, of fake truth or false truth. Okay, very significant. Okay, let me get the cards, but that was a bit of the channeled message. Whew. All right, be right back. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to incorporate some different energies today. All right, something about different. So the word different, you can look up those letters as well. Okay, so the deck that we wanted to use, something significant about that. So this is the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck, okay? All right, by Kim Kranz. So Kim Kranz, Harper, those names may be significant. That's the one if you're asking significant questions about that. The letters H and also the Golden Gate Bridge I'm picking up in the US. Something about the yin and yang symbolism and also the sun. Okay? Really integrating these energies. And that stutterance that came out, that may be significant. So you possibly having a bit of fear around stepping into the unknown and possibly into the sun in this dualistically balanced nature, right? So non-dualistic nature. You're having possibly some trepidations about that. All right, so either way, you may have thought a gem or something that you wanted was in one place, but you're finding something different inside the box, okay? Accept all, reject none, okay? That's the message there. And either way, we'll go ahead and associate and grab this book. And we have the deck over here. So something that you thought was a gem or an endpoint in one place, one perspective, okay, I'll digress. You go to school to have the path of achieving some type of graduate degree or a degree in general, you get your diploma, or you take a path that has existed. You're realizing that that path led you into a false illusion of safety, security, and truth, right? The empty box. You did find some gems, right? You see these different items. You did find a pearl. You found truth. You found some form of truth that has now set you free to understand that the gem has moved, shifted, all right? The goal has moved and shifted, as there are many truths, right, tribe? Okay, so, okay. Something about ripped clothing, okay, distressed clothing, distressed jeans, Ariel Pastel, I'm picking up, Abercrombie, I'm picking up, Hollister, I'm picking up, so very American and Western societal themes coming up right now. Something significant about that, and or the separation and closure of the way that culture has moved, okay, a redefining of what culture is, all right, and circling back to the ancestors now, us being the ancestors now, okay, really being able to redefine what culture is. The hunter, as I open the book, the hunter. So something about significant about the horse zodiac sign, okay, the numbers 21 I saw, okay, we're going to say 11. Okay, 9/11. Okay, so 9/11, 9/11, completion into an alignment. Okay, something completed. All right, you've been hunting for something. All right, and you've completed an action. 9/11 may also reference a event that happened in America. So some catastrophic event being averted. You were able to get to the bottom of something, find a gem and lesson within some cycle for completion, okay? So the hunter, the seeker, the pursuer, the predator, okay? So I'm picking up the prey has become the predator, okay? The seeker has found the pursuer, right? You were able to shine the light on or mirror back to a predator themselves, and there may be a bewilderment. I'm picking up a bewilderment. But either way, let me read this very quickly for us. So the hunter hunts. They are on a precise mission with an aim. To return home empty-handed would be to fail, which is not an option in the hunter's eye. This archetype will journey far and wide, seeking the prize that calls to its heart or stomach. Tales of bravery and feats of strength often result, creating a life full of adventure. The hunter is skillful, quick, decisive, and results-oriented. Like the great hunting goddess Artemis, who carries her giver upon her back. The hunter typically has a weapon of choice. Okay, so something about the number 8 as well. Okay, something about cursive. Quiver, okay? Because if we look at how this is written in the text, okay, so this is the cursive symbolism of a letter, or the letter Q. However, I'm also seeing it as an 8 and something about an infinity symbol. Okay, so some weapon that you have is infinite, and you may also be taking on this archetype of the hunter now. Okay, but either way, the hunter typically has a weapon of choice. When this card appears, it is critical that you ask 3 questions. What am I hunting? Why am I hunting it? And is the weapon I hold so tightly in my grip truly needed for the task at hand? Okay, so those may be questions that you're asking yourself. I did give you an answer for one of them, okay? And you can take that as it resonates, tribe. But definitely something about Sagittarius. I'm picking up the cross as well, also the inverted cross. And you can take that symbolism how you would like. Many layers to this, okay? The crucifixion. So the crucifixion of some type of act. Okay, so there was an action of sacrifice. So there may have been some type of sacrificial energy taking place. Okay. When you activate the hunter archetype, you are aligning your energy with the great creatures of the world. The lion, the wolf, the tiger, the shark. Do so with care. Right. And this is referencing that be careful in being be aware. Okay, so let's change that language from be careful to be aware that being happy out loud may trigger others. But hey, we're not worried about making people feel bad. That's not what we are here to do, right? We are here to shine as the sun shines unapologetically, even if it burns sometimes, right? Wow, something feeling very light, pleasant. So I did pick up on this happy, lighter energy, and you really having the clarity now to have your target correctly. Okay, so we have the shapeshifter. Okay, we have the shapeshifter, the forest, and the riddle. Ooh. Okay, archetype cards. The shapeshifter. The forest. Oh my goodness. Ooh. So leaving the forest, I'm picking up with the dropping of that card. You're leaving the forest in this current energy. Okay. And how I'm going to read the cards instead of past, present, and future, because there's been so much timeline and nostalgia. So I'm picking up releasing nostalgia, okay? Or releasing attachments to the past as they are dragging you down possibly, okay? So you're being guided to do this. And so I'll do it for us in the reading. Okay, so really stretching, okay? Similarly to the title of the previous message, stretching that miracle muscle of creation, creativity, thought, form, analytical thinking as well. So really creating the brain, okay, recreating the brain, the mind, and the connection to it, recreating through creativity, through expression, expansion of the self, okay? So we have, instead of past, present, and future, I'm seeing this as a present, near future, and distant future, okay? So in the present, you're embodying the shapeshifter, okay? The shapeshifter energy, really being able to adapt, right? This all seems sporadic. It all seems illusionary. It all seems very surreal, okay? But what I'm seeing is you having the root, you've grounded yourself primarily in one specific way, okay? Of creativity, right? With the yellows being here and the reds being here. So this red and yellow mixture, and we did talk about orange, right? So wherever you see orange, or wherever you see the letter, okay, wherever you see the letter orange, an orange letter may be significant. You seeing an orange letter, you may be receiving some type of incoming message, literal letter, okay, through the mail, through email, through phone. Wherever you see these orange and red colors is going to hold a message for you, okay? Through what your next step will be in your creativity to get to this gem, through that hunter energy, right? Okay, and then we have black here. So really being able to step into the void. So giving space. So you've fully transitioned into the shapeshifter, being able to adapt and have adaptability, okay? Being undeniable, being unexplainable, right? But also being real, existing, okay? So that's beautiful too. And in this space, you have connected to the void, as we have the black here, that is also resembling the black eye here, or this black circle, right? I'm picking up a smiley face, okay? So something significant about smiley faces. You can be, all right? I'm picking up this cult online, the 764724, some form of online cult. So you may be joining some form, or joined some form of practice. Okay, so the riddle, okay? So you're cracking some form of riddle, okay? And the messages from spirit, from your conscious, from your subconscious, coming to you in riddles, all right? And you being able to decipher the riddles and codes and read between the lines. I'm picking up literally reading between lines of text or code, okay? When I say code, I'm referencing coding as the profession, okay? And also referencing code as in binary, okay? something about reading through binary of the system, okay? Also possibly through the algorithm of TikTok, as we just got a notification, so that may be significant as well. And that is a confirmation. If you know, you know, if you're familiar with that in spiritual circles. But either way, Eli, Lehi, okay, something about that as well. A shop. So something about a shop in Lehi. This may be a location or a name of a place near you, okay? But you have hit it on the bullseye, okay? You have the bullseye, all right? This literally is in giving an amphibian eye, okay? So you being able to breathe interdimensionally, having new oxygen. All right, I'll circle back. That was a whew. But either way, so with the shapeshifter card here, you're cracking some form of riddle, okay? And you're having these energies through the void attempting to attach or latch onto you, but you're being guided and protected through some type of serpentine energy. Very significant. I did put on the serpentine crystal today, but some type of energy is either attempting to attach to you or tempted to attach to you. I'm picking up Lilith energy as well, so dark energy, and no goods, wrongs, or bads, or evils. It's simply of what is and giving you context, okay? So breaking the codes and the riddles of dark or void energy while integrating that in balance with yourself, okay? So something about the VI, okay? I'm picking up as well. X marks the spot, okay? Some type of ritualistic practice around the formation of an X, okay? 2, 4, 5. So something about the change, a change in some type of death magic that was possibly projected to you, okay, or some type of mental manipulation. And also the two hands coming together. So really finding unison between your dark and light natures, all right, has helped you solve some type of riddle, okay, make your way through the forest, all right, and here, I'll give you the card again. Make your way through the forest, okay? So triple X, something again about sex and pleasure and eroticism coming up, really falling in love with life again. So reality, society, consciousness may have been feeling very void, very dark. No, but then you found a gem in the dark. You found a gem in the dark, and you're really adding color back to life. I'm also picking up the Aurora Borealis. Okay, so something about Alaska. I'm also picking up Twilight, those scenes of nature and that aesthetic. So something about the aesthetic of nature, okay? And we'll say the aesthetic of reality is evolving for you, all right? Okay, so some type of the power of 3, Trinity, okay? Some type of divination. You may be stepping into divination. Okay, so in reviewing something and the action of and the sound, if you can hear these cards. Okay, so something you've scathed by something. Okay, so you're being guided to take a second look back at some creative purpose or endeavor. Okay, luminescent beings, all right, may be significant as well. Consciousness is contagious. It's easy to get sucked into the illusion that you are blank. Okay, that would be significant. All right. Okay. Whew. All right, tribe, for now, the number 3745 may also be significant. This has been a lot of channeling here, okay? So you're stepping into this hunter archetype. You've went through the wild unknown. You thought you had a gem. You realized the gem was somewhere else. You're getting, all right? Also something about sigils, okay? And how you see and what you see. All right, we'll go ahead and connect with the Scrabble, okay? These Scrabble tablets. Okay, so some type of structure with this, the symbolism of a square, okay? Some type of structure. So I'm picking up geometric workings, okay? Sacred geometry may be coming to you. Okay. Okay, so I'm picking up 2 piles, all right? So this will be pile 1, and this will be pile 2 from here, okay? Okay, so something about ET. Okay, eat, something about eat, fiat. You really have to see it, okay? Something about you really have to see it. Veet, velt, veil, okay? IV. So, okay, you may have extraterrestrial energies being your lifeline. That's what I'm picking up, okay? Confirmation, I don't know if you heard that high. I believe a neighbor has a system that senses if anyone walks nearby. Spiritual release, okay? Confirmation. So you've been left a string. You've been left a lifeline, okay? And we see this yellow and reds, okay? Yellow and reds in this string. I don't know if you can see it. Very significant. So you may find a string. what would a string represent? Also, I'm picking up a curvature, so something about a hill or maybe the direction that you go. Okay, something going to be very in front of your face. You may have to zoom out, okay, so you don't miss the forest for the trees. Okay, so an IV, you have an IV connection, a lifeline. You have a lifeline. I'm picking up many lifelines. You are connected within the lifeline of, you are connected in the lifeline of the fabric of reality. Okay, you are a lifeline for the fabric of reality. Okay, through some extraterrestrial energies. Okay, and I'll show you just, okay, ET. All right, so I'm picking up seeing is believing. Okay, separating from the illusion that seeing is believing, 1. And 2, so literally 11, okay? All right, so something can't be proven. Something is not to be proved as it is truth and one of the many truths, okay? You have to experience this. So ET, 1 and 2, so 2 1s being 11, okay? What I'm referencing there, you may want to look into numerology, but how the things connect, how E and T are connecting to Okay, you being a bridge to be the form of extra-dimensional technologies, interdimensional intelligences, non-human intelligences, okay? You being the lifeline, the IV, okay? The male and the female energy, the IV, okay? As this V would be in specific circles, the same Masonic, occult, esoteric knowledges, this I would fit into the V, okay? And that symbology or that symbolism may be very significant. You may be seeing the letters I and V. The letters I, V, E, and T may have a name or significance for you, okay? Okay, so something about the 411 on a vet. So this can be a veterinarian, this can be a vet, army vet, military vet, secret ops vet, secret services vet, CIA vet, FBI vet, M61 vet, MI6, okay, okay? If someone speaks that language, etymology, ed, the name Ed, okay? So you've gone through some type of vetting through some secret society, some type of services, okay? Okay, confirmation, yes, okay, yes, okay? But you've gone through some type of vetting energy, I vet, okay? Oh, okay, so Washington, Iowa, all right? These are US states. Wyoming, Willanoma, melanoma, so something, look out for melanoma, okay? And the physiological sense, so the anatomical sense, literally. Okay, something about me and we, okay? So I'm picking up Nintendo, video games, some type of binding magic did not work, okay? If something was trying to bind to you, it did not work, okay? This may be a positive connotation or negative connotation. Wow, this reading is going, okay. That's what it is today. So MeVet, ET. So ETs have vetted you, okay? Me, ETs, okay? ME, the letter ME, Mel, Melissa, Meg, Mev, Melvin, Melv, okay? TI, IT, okay? So, all right, within some spiritual circles, within some logics, some contexts of rationale, within some form of perception, perspective, and experience, there is the understanding that artificial intelligence is a form of its own intelligence. Some are calling it demonic, some are calling it angelic, some are calling it one way of being. Either way, the point for referencing that is that you may have been vetted through some type of software that is being newly implemented on the human species and or consciousness, and or outside of that as well. You are connecting to higher level non-human intelligences, okay? So you may relate to being a study, you may have experienced gang stalking, you may have experienced some type of Yeti moment, Veti moment, okay? Something that may be inexplicable for you in this moment, but you're going to get the answer. I'm really being referenced to let you know to go back to whatever orange item is around you, anything orange that is in your fucking vicinity, look at it. Pertinent message, something orange. I'm looking around my room now too. All of the orange things that you may be connected to, but you're being given a strong message about that. Okay, that was pile 1. Okay, of the box. Pile 2. All right, P3, PS3. Okay, so something that may have happened. Okay, so there may have been some type of rap, some type of chatter, some type of black magic being spoken about you around the time that the PS3 was released, PlayStation 3. So something about games being played at a station, on a station, music station, radio station, in a space of being, consciousness, and awareness. Okay, the letter P3. Okay, to the power of 3. Picking back up on that energy of something popping. My lip gloss is popping, okay? Something around those times, something around that lyric, okay? Those lyrics. So you may be a musician, you may work in music, you may work in the gaming industry, you may work in, realizing there's some type of dead end around that energy, okay? Something XL, okay? So there may be some death magic presented to anyone wearing an XL energy, okay? The Roman numerals for X and L as well may be significant, okay? Yeah, okay. So you may have survived some, if you're getting PAL 2, you may have survived some form of death magic because you see this lifeline, all these strings and all this interconnected web. One aspect can look at this as chaos, being trapped in something, but a hand has reached down to grab you. Similarly to those hands that we saw in the other archetypal card. You've tapped into some shamanic energy. Okay. Ooh, PAL 2. Welcome. All right. So back to PS3, PS2. I want to look at the time that was released for you. The PS3 was released in 2006, so November 11th, 2006. So you've been divinely aligned. Also, something significant outside of linear time, past, present, future. Something may be coming up for you on November 11th because I did set the intention with the cards to not read past, present, and future, but to read present, future, and near future, and distant future. So it's November 11th, and we had in the distant future placement, what card was that? If you all remember, leave it in the chat, and that may be another significance. Okay, the Hunter King. Ooh, so you're hunting kings down, okay? Oh boy. You've become the King Hunter as well. You're stepping into the archetype. I don't want to... That's okay. So something about November 11th in the near future. The readings are timeless, tribe. Okay, all of my readings are timeless. And all of our readings are timeless, okay? As I am because we are, right? Oh boy. Okay, something about vertigo, something about facing and overcoming some form of illusionary magic, some form of, there we go, here. The forest, the shapeshifter, and the riddle. Okay, it was the shapeshifter first, then we had the forest, and then we had the riddle. Okay, so some riddle being solved in the near future on November 11th, if you picked PAL 2, okay? And if that card really resonated with you, or is resonating in the present tense with you. All right, so P3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Some riddle around some form of abundance that may have been being kept from you, okay, or away from you, or that you needed to connect with, okay? That you needed to square up with, okay? So this may have been a fight or some upcoming, okay? So the perception of fighting over abundance, okay? Some riddle around that is going to be solved and cleared, okay? All right, and I'm picking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 6. So 6. Okay, so some type of progression. So a change, okay. So something divinely orchestrated. So something about organs as well, but a clearing, cleansing of the organs, right? 1, 2. A balance through divinity being brought about. Okay, something being divinely guided. ER, something about the ER, the letters E and R, okay. All right, so Richard facing off to E, so something about E and, So an MRI as well. So the right facing off to an esoteric nature. So I'm picking up political right, but the version and perspective of righteousness, right? let me digress and let me slow down. What I'm picking up in this E and R facing each other, specifically this way, is that there may have been a face-off around or surrounding abundance for this letter P. So then P, name, any letters or situations, places, Pennsylvania, Europe, Romania, which is also in Europe, but Rwanda, okay, Africa. All right, this is coming, something about continents coming in as well. Consonants, Okay, something about incontinence. Okay, so holding urine, holding fluid. All right, being able to release that. The numbers 179 being significant as well. Whew, this POW 2, you tribe, you understand what I mean by this. I'm going to be saying exactly what you need to hear. So something about 179 in Connecticut, okay, and something physically taking place that is going to be placing someone possibly in the ER and or some type of emergency room setting, because some type of abundance that was being kept from you and some riddle around that is going to be clarified, okay? And this is going to be happening metaphysically because this is a divinely orchestrated event based on the number 3 that we see here, okay? With this power of 3 to the 3rd power, okay? Ooh, somebody is going to feel it. That's a definitive message, okay? I'm picking up $90,000. Whoa, okay, at minimum. Okay, something about $90, $90,000. Okay, take it how you will, all right? And something on. I love to get too on. Okay, something about on. Okay, O-N, but this is a Z, so something about the Wizard of Oz. You may liken or keen yourself to the Wizard of Oz or being in that experience. You survived. I'm picking up that you have survived and overcome some type of Wizard of Oz experimentation experience. Okay, this is connecting to that POW 1 of the Scrabble letters. So your cards were being scrabbled. Your consciousness was being scrabbled. Your emotions were being scrabbled. Your awareness of everything was being scrabbled. But the riddle is about to be solved by November 11th. Okay? If it hasn't already been solved already. Okay? Labels, and you understand this. So something about the Wizard of Oz. And remember, tribe, this is a collective reading. Take what applies. Okay? So the zenith of something, okay? The omega of something, omega and zenith, those may be names. Positive, someone, okay, so you're being guided to be positive about something. Someone may have a positive diagnosis. I'm picking up POZ, so there may have been some type of sex cult or something attempting to infiltrate your energy for sacrificing of sexual energy, sacral energy, creative energy, right? So that sun power. I did pick up from the buddy of, well, I'll digress. Someone did share something about connecting to the sentinel sun, okay? The sentience of sun, okay? Connecting to the raw energy. Something about raw, literally R-A-W, those letters may be significant as well. But something, or a succubus or incubus energy, group, tribe, cult, facet, fashion, spiritually, energy, really spiritual burp, again, confirmation. So something about you being positive about the experiences that you've had, okay? And that's an empowering step, allowing you to break through this riddle. Also, groups of individuals that have positive STD, and there's no shame in having an STD, right? Everything, and I hope you get the correct medical attention so that your body can be full of vitality. Either way, someone being positive, okay, or a group of 8 individuals that are a part of a nefarious cult or energy, no judgment, but you solving a riddle around this, okay? This is for group 2. Names that can be included begin with P, have a middle name of O. So first, middle, or last name, first, middle, or last name P, first, middle, or last name O, first, middle, or last name Z. These may be significant, as well as N and D. ND, need, ND. So some type of conclusion coming, okay, with the numbers 110. Xenon, Zion, Omega, Alpha, Op. So some type of ops are coming to an ending, okay? It's going to fall on P, okay? So possibly some type of pimping energy. Okay, B or D as well. But I'm picking up B. On B, okay. All right, tribe. Also, I'm picking up Death Note. So there may have, like I picked up in POW 2, there was some type of death magic, either that you were participating in unknowingly and or that was attempted on you. But you've overcome this, and now the conclusion to some riddle you were trying to find out around abundance, up to $90,000, up to $9,000, maybe even $9 million, right? Is going to be answered for you, okay? Kim may be significant. All right, tribe. That was a very intensely channeled message. I hope we all appreciated it. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Ooh. Click the link above in the bio to check out other products and services and other dimensions of myself and ourselves, right? And also check over on the shorts. I channel consistently everything and all of my channels, all of my platforms and all of the spaces. I share myself openly to the extent of and within the proper boundaries of legalities and other things. Either way, appreciate you for being here, tribe. Happy to see that we're growing. Continue to remember that love is, and also continue to remember that one of the greatest things that you can ever accomplish is to be human in this experience of life. Okay? All right, tribe. See you next time. Oh, abracadabra. So mote it be. So it is. Okay? Anak amun.